Hey everybody, hashtag Financial Freedom Friday. So, I tagged an amazing individual in this video, Lisa Kelly, who we connected actually on LinkedIn a long time ago. We did some coaching. She's actually a coach herself. And I tagged her in this. I'm gonna wait for her to pop on because, you know, obviously we actually have something really cool going on, a dual thing, because, you know, we're gonna actually ask each other some questions because obviously we both have coaching businesses, we're both entrepreneurs, and we both want to provide relevant content to, you know, what she does in the wellness industry, what I do in the wellness industry, not just for, you know, individuals, but obviously other people. And she has a great story. She's an amazing individual, and she really understands exactly how to leverage and use LinkedIn for your benefit. Now let me just get her on here. 1 second. All right. So we'll see if that works. All right. So just want to thank everybody for coming on. There she is. I'm going to in. And again, we're going to do a little Q&A. Obviously, hi, Chelsea. We made it work.
We did.
Wasn't so bad, right?
No, I'm usually pretty good with technology, but you know, it's the first time for everything, right?
Exactly. So this is just going to obviously uncover something else for you as well.
Absolutely.
So for people that are jumping on either live now or on the recording, I left a description and a bio on Lisa, who you guys all deserve to connect with. There's some links to her website, her podcast, her affiliate programs, everything that she does for her workplace wellness programs, for corporate wellness. But she does so many things, and we connected a little over a year ago on LinkedIn, surprise, and that led us to actually connecting on Facebook, and we've done some masterminds together, and we thought it would be fun to kind of ask each other questions so both of our audiences can learn a little bit more about each other, what we're about, what we're doing. So first, Lisa, I just wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to, you know, join me today and have this conversation.
Well, thank you. And can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Is my volume
loud and clear?
Okay.
Loud and clear.
I'm going to just adjust things just a little bit there. Okay.
All right. So first and foremost, obviously, people that are jumping on my live, they know me, but they don't know who Lisa Kelly is.
Right.
So give a little bit of a background on you, what got you involved in corporate wellness, and were there any specific moments or a moment where you wanted to start your own company?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, thanks again, Scott. And we've talked about doing this for some time now, so I'm glad we finally made it work with our schedules. So I've had I always say a very eclectic, not a real traditional background. Although, you know, when I look at it now, it was a lot more linear than I think I really realized. So you know, I have a background. I have a business degree and master's in adult education. I started years ago in corporate training and workplace wellness. And then I had a personal fitness and similar bit of background too, right, in the fitness business. Had a personal fitness and nutrition company that I worked out of my home in 2 different cities. And so I really wanted to, and I did that full time, but I really wanted to get together and bring all my skill sets. Because when I was in fitness, I missed the corporate. When I was in corporate, I missed the fitness. And so merging all my skill sets through workplace wellness, corporate wellness really was the perfect and you know, the best of both worlds. And in terms of a moment, I did a podcast with someone the other day and we were talking about this, and I worked in social services. Now, if anyone's ever worked in, you know, government social services, it's a tough job. It's a tough gig, right? And so one day, literally, you know, in terms of a straw that broke the camel's back to make the decision to go full-time into my own business, a client was rejected for various reasons for social service benefits, and he literally threw the computer across you know, and across the room. And, you know, concurrent with that and the stress and budget cutbacks, a lot of us employees were going on stress leave, and it was making further stress for the, you know, remaining employees, yada, yada. So, you know, that was just, okay, I thought I need to be in a role where I can be a lot more proactive and productive, you know, nurturing stress mastery for clients like this, right? And I felt that my talents were not fully utilized in the role I was in. And so I really felt that I needed to go out on my own. And so long story short, then about 5 years ago, I was riding my bike outdoors one beautiful summer day, looking up at the blue sky, and I really had a vision. I don't know if it was a cloud that was speaking to me or what have you, but I had a vision to start my own consultancy. Now, not to what it's become today, and it never starts out that way, right? But I had a vision to go into companies and train them in corporate wellness and literally work myself out of a job as a consultant. And so that then led to people hearing what I was all about, like globally. And before I knew it, 5 years ago, I had an advisory team of global, you know, at workplace wellness consultants. And from there, we started a certification program that has now evolved into a whole series of workplace wellness certifications. And the last of which we're working on now is launching an executive wellness leadership program next spring for executives and senior managers, which is also concurrent with that. We're going to have an internship for our Master Ambassador graduates to interface, excuse me, to interface with executive and senior leaders as an internship through our program. So they're going to be really fully, highly trained. Now, that's going to take them probably 1.5 to 2 years for anyone new in our programs to get to that level. But we have some of our graduates now who are very experienced in the wings who can come into our spring pilot program with the executives. And so, you know, we're finalizing that this year for a spring launch. So really exciting things happening with us.
Yeah. So, you know, obviously everyone has a different journey in their career. Some people, they work for someone, they stay there, they're happy, that's fine. And then there's other people like you and I that had those aha moments where, you know, I could be doing something else. I could be doing more. So, you know, obviously this has grown into something more than you thought it was going to be.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
If you could summarize, because, you know, a lot of people that I'm connected to, they're in wellness, whether they're network marketers or whatever they're doing. But, you know, obviously when you get into the network marketing industry, you start getting that bug for being a multipreneur, having multiple streams of income. So, so if you could summarize, you know, in short, what the Global Wellness Ambassador Program is, or maybe an example of one of the ambassadors, a success story that could paint a clear picture for, you know, maybe not someone that wants to be an ambassador, but maybe how you can take a belief and you can take something that you want to achieve and you can create success from that.
Absolutely. You know, I really appreciate that question. And so, you know, in terms of what our program, we'll just give you a bit of background information. Our program are online instructor-led programs. We offer them, you know, at level 1. We actually starting up in October 1. You know, we train those coming into our programs, and you don't have to have a workplace wellness or a health coaching background. Anyone with a passion for wellness can come in. And so I'm actually working up to your question here now. So, you know, through our programs, we provide all the necessary training, toolkits, resources, suite of campaigns and lunch and learns. You never have to buy another wellness program again, literally. Right. And we design right from the ground level in our level 1 through our master and our other level programs in how to go to employers and how to really assess and meet their needs, bring them a suite of resources and campaigns and programs and done-for-you programs that we provide. And, you know, things like our Wellness Champion program module and our Wellness Buddies module, they're very unique to our program, and they really position our health coaches and our trainees and graduates to go out and to really position themselves for success in the market. And so to get to your question then in terms of some successes or even how one might start, well, certainly, you know, if you want to launch into workplace wellness, and that's incidentally the name of our information webinar we have right now, you know, you really, first and foremost, you want to have a passion for wellness, right? I mean, that's just a given. And also, you know, it really does help to have some base level of training and certifications. And, you know, if I may, that's obviously a shameless plug for our program, but even if it's not our program, you know, you want to have some certification or training because you'll look that much more credible, you know, professional, authentic to an employer. And even more importantly, you will have, you know, you'll have the wherewithal and know-how to go in and how to negotiate, how to do a discovery session, how to set up your resume and your proposals and your templates, and, you know, how to have an elevator pitch, all the things you need. But you also need to know what some of the key elements are that, you know, our you know, employers deal with. So, and what are their struggles? And so we get into a lot of that. So you have that, you know, knowledge that you can speak to them intellectually. And you also want to have a comprehensive suite of programs and toolkits. So you really want to have, like I said, that passion for wellness, you know, some base level of training or certification, a good marketing package. And again, we provide that through our programs, and a comprehensive suite of programs to offer to them that meet with their needs, because all programs should be really driven by employer needs. And so the broader base of toolkits and suite of resources that you have, then the more you can meet their needs. So someone like a health coach coming into our program, first and foremost, as I said, just have a passion for wellness, a willingness to want to work and coach and work with employees and organizations and management to help create healthy cultures. And again, not to worry, because programs such as ours obviously work you through all the layers and levels of how to do that. But, you know, just incidentally, in terms of some successes, we have a number of our ambassador graduates at the master level specifically who work part-time at corporate wellness. They have full-time jobs. And so one of our gals works a full-time job, and, you know, she uses some of her holiday time. I believe she used her holiday time to go in and she did a contract, a 1-week contract in Belize, where she went and did a full week boot camp, you know, and then got a follow-up virtual contract for a year from that. Yeah, so there's some really incredibly exciting. And what's really neat about our program is we give you all the online and virtual facilitation training. So even which rarely happens, even if you came out of our programs or program and realized this is not for you, which is highly unlikely, you could still, and you're a health coach, you could still use all the training and the resources for your private health coaching. And all the campaigns, lunch and learns can be used for personal and private health coaching programs with clients. And so there's a double whammy there and benefit, right? You can use it in corporate, you can use it with private health coaching. And then I know, like, you have a lot of clients, I guess, and followers who are in the isogenics, right?
Well, let me interject really quickly. So that's really great. So for a network marketer, because, you know, we do vendor tables. So how could a network marketer that is a product of the product, someone like Isogenics, someone, you know, they say yes to Isogenics, they're just coming into it for the products, they start doing the business, and now this overwhelming feeling of, I need to be fully embedded in one-on-one wellness, you know, on the personal side, but how can I take a network marketing opportunity like Isogenics and approach the corporate side? How can I help those companies? So what advice would you give a network marketer in Isogenics or any other company for that matter, how they can start approaching on the corporate side to start helping that aspect of the wellness industry?
Right. Well, you know, I'll be really blunt here. Like, I wouldn't go into it just to try and use it as an avenue just for Isogenics or any program, right? Or any product line. However, if you are, and I assume people in Isogenics, a lot of them are health coaches or wellness advocates and enthusiasts, right? So if you're, say, an Isogenics rep and you want to get involved in corporate wellness, you can still leverage that experience and grow your Isogenics, but in a very, strategic manner, right? So, for example, if you're doing lunch and learns with employers, and again, we provide all the training or campaigns or helping them develop workplace wellness programs, you're interfacing with employees. And so oftentimes, too, there's opportunities to engage in one-on-one coaching with employees. And so it's all about the relationship building, right? And so through your work with the employees, the employer, you may, for example, go in and do a lunch and learn, and you're talking about healthy products, and you may have, you know, very subtly introduce Isogenics and in a lunch and learn, right? You may use them in your smoothies, or you may say, today we're going to make, pancakes with Isogenics products, right? And you get the employees involved in making the pancakes, and they're like, oh my God, this tastes really good. What is this? And you say, well, just happens to be an Isogenics product. And, you know, if you're interested, contact me, you know, here's my email, contact me offline, but you're not going to get in and do a pitch on, you know, so it's very covert way of infusing your product line in with, you know, other means of, you know, cultivating a healthy employee, right?
You're embedding it into not the presentation, but it's what you use. It's how it's part of the presentation. So well, that's great advice. So again, the age that we're in right now, we are in the digital age. We are in the age of social media. Obviously, this, you know, workplace wellness and corporate wellness and, you know, individual wellness, which is what I was in as a gym owner and personal trainer, it's completely different now. So how have you specifically engaged with social media with the changes that have been going on to help grow your business? Because whether it's a workplace wellness business, you know, on the corporate side or individual, we all have to be doing similar things. So what are some of those things that you've been doing social media wise to help grow your business?
Sorry there, I'm new to this. I'm doing the dual thing. I just had a phone call coming through that I had to delete. So sorry, I missed a little bit. So my sense is you asked me, how am I using social media?
Yeah, in the age that we're in now, how have you started to use, or what do you do social media wise to grow your presence and grow your business?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I first and foremost want to say, without social media, I would not be talking to you today. I would not have these global certification programs. So, you know, I've really, I've been a student of social media, and I've really embraced social media, and I've done some social media training. And again, I've taken some training and coaching from you, which has really helped me. And I'll talk about that in a second. But I started up several years ago, some Facebook groups. So I have a
looks like our connection. I think you're back now. Okay, you're good. You're good.
Sorry about that. I should have turned off these notifications and I didn't. But anyway, so I set up 3 Facebook groups, one of which is a private group for ambassadors. And I'm very actively engaged in those private groups. I have weekly emails that go up to my VIP email list. You know, I've very engaged in LinkedIn. And I'm going to talk about LinkedIn because I know that's really in your wheelhouse, right? You do a lot of coaching and training. And for starters, LinkedIn was actually what helped me form my advisory group. I was literally shopping one day, and this guy, who's now a really close advisor and a trainer in our program, called me and said, Lisa, I see what you're doing. And he, you know, I saw you on LinkedIn and I want to get involved in your program. And, you know, we're like, he's now helping me develop my executive program. And that was like 5 years ago. And same with some other advisors. They just heard about me through LinkedIn. So, you know, I'm not shy. I go out and I post and post and post, and I try and give good, valuable content in the meanwhile of doing that. So I'm very consistent, right? Very consistent in my LinkedIn and Facebook. And there are 2 platforms I predominantly use. I do a little bit on Twitter and Instagram, but in the business space, you want to be in LinkedIn for sure. I do YouTube videos, and I do interviews that I post on YouTube. I do focus group sessions. So right now I'm doing focus groups. And again, I've got the members for my focus groups by doing up a really nice ad with a landing page that they can opt into my focus groups. So the focus groups is a great way to build that know, like, trust factor, right? And we're just starting our first one next week. And so I'm going to be doing them for a whole year, and they're going to be the outcomes and the content and discussions from our focus groups is going to go into my book that my husband and I are writing on corporate wellness. And so I'll be doing articles from the discussion groups of our focus groups, which will then feed into our book, right? So it's all about having a strategy and a game plan. As well, I do like a 3 in 3 series on LinkedIn and Facebook, where I'm going to be doing 3 topics, 3 little mini tips in 3 minutes. But, you know, really, truly with LinkedIn, it's about consistency. Now, one thing I want to share, and you know, I just want to put a plug out there for you, you know, one of many plugs, is that when we did our coaching, I was at about 3,000 LinkedIn members. I'm now up to about 14,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That was through a little tip that you give me. And I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag because I want everyone to contact you.
So and I think we worked together. I think it was back, it was earlier this year. It was like February.
Yeah, it's only been like maybe 5 or 6 months, if that.
And so you went from 3,000 connections to 14,000. That's, I mean, you 5 times your connections, which obviously,
Yeah.
when you 5 times your connections, you 5 times your visibility, you 5 times
Yeah.
your leads, and you can 5 times your business.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so, and I owe a lot of, thanks to you for that. A lot of big thanks. But when it comes back, just to come back to LinkedIn again, I just want to give out, throw out some tips. And I've done I've been a real student of LinkedIn, and I knew a lot even before I came to you, but I learned a lot through working with you as well. So if you think you have lots of knowledge in LinkedIn, you can still learn more from Scott. So, with LinkedIn, and a big thing is getting out there and building those relationships, right? One thing that's concerning me today, and I'm really cognizant to try not to do it myself, and I fell into this trap as well, is when you're approaching contacts, is to not sell to them right out the gate.
Love that.
Right?
Love that.
Because what's the first thing when we see a URL or an attachment or a link? They're selling me something, and they're not even going to read what you're trying to share. This could be a first message. So first, make it know what's in it for them. Make it about them. Try and build that know, like, trust factor that you hear us talk about. And that is so true. Now, I had a contact yesterday. And so, for example, one thing that's really helped me this week, and I talked about my focus groups, is I'm sending out personal messages to them saying, I've been looking at your profile. I think you have a lot to offer our field, and I'd love to have your expertise in our focus group.
Love that.
So, and I got a lot of ads to my email list just from, that one-on-one. It takes elbow grease, it takes time, but it really does build your business and help. And one person came back and said, I can't do it right now, but you're top of mind. I see your posts, and keep the engagement coming, and I'd like to be involved.
It's planting those seeds. If you want to reap the harvest, you got to plant the seeds for the crop to grow. And most people, in any service business, whether you're in corporate wellness, whether you're in one-on-one wellness, whether you're just a business owner, if you're not growing, like, there's something that Gary Vaynerchuk says. He says that your network is in direct correlation to your net worth. So
I love that.
If you're not happy with your net worth, it just means that you don't have a big enough network to work off of. So,
absolutely.
And that's what you and I talked about. So I just want to read you something really quickly. So I connected with an old LinkedIn connection last night, because something that I taught you that I do is I'm very big on gratitude. So I'm always going in and I'm sending gratitude messages every day on LinkedIn to people that engage with me, just thanking them for supporting me, because that's what this is about. So I sent her a gratitude message, and she said, thank you, or she said, you're welcome. And then I did what every good business owner does, and that's ask questions. So I said, how have things been going in your world? And she said, not too great. So then I came back with another question. Is there any way I can help you, and would you be open to a call next week just to catch up? Not trying to sell her, just offered help and said, let's catch up. And she wrote, absolutely.
Oh, good for you.
And I wrote, how is Monday or Tuesday? Another question. And she goes, either one is good. How about Monday? And
wow. And that's how you do it.
And I said, what time of day is best for you? She said, around noon Pacific Standard. I said, great. And I said, that's a perfect time for me. I'll call you then. But here was the kicker. She wrote, perfect. You're in my book. I look forward to that. And just to let you know, you build connection well. Have a great night.
Well, oh my gracious, that's so, you need to like.
I literally had the chills from that, because it just shows you that people they're craving connection, and no one wants to be sold to. So I tell all my clients, questions will always lead to answers, and people make the mistake. They jump in right away and try to go for the sale.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you want, there's one thing that will sell over anything else, because people end up buying you. They're not buying workplace wellness. They're buying Lisa.
Yeah. And can I add to that?
Yeah,
Did you
please.
if you read Simon Sinek's book, right? It's not about, they're not buying what you do, they buy why
you do it. But here's the thing, there's the number one thing that people have to focus on. And this is why people buy from you, is because they trust you.
Absolutely.
When someone can trust you, they will be open to anything and everything that you're doing. But the mistake that people make, and this is not to fault them, they're just doing what maybe someone is teaching them.
Yeah.
People, we live in such an instant gratification world. Think about it. You know, there's fast food restaurants, drive-through Starbucks, instant oatmeal. Everything is so quick.
I know.
People don't want to take the time to nurture relationships.
And you know, if I could, I was going to say, if I could bring it back, because I often get this question about workplace wellness, and I say the same thing about engaging employees in programs you do. It takes time. Like, you know, the parallel is very much there between, you know, marketing your programs to marketing programs to employees. You got to build that know, like, trust factor with employees. You got to get them engaged on all different levels, right? And so, you know, for those who make it discouraged initially in workplace wellness and feel they're not getting anywhere, like, it takes time to build those relationships. But you nailed it on the head. Is like, people want to feel, and I just read a report about millennials, and they rated this top of all their needs in the workplaces. They want to feel cared about. They want to feel needed. They want to feel that they have a voice. They want to feel that they're heard. And so you gave a prime example, Scott, of that by asking those questions and saying, hey, you know what, you matter to me. And what can I do to serve and support you?
Yeah.
And it worked, right?
And it's not even like it may amount to something, it may not, because everyone's intention is to, like, all right, how can I profit off of this conversation? But you have to understand, profit means different things to different people. If you were to ask someone, what does profit mean to you? The everyday person would say, well, that's, you know, the amount of money that's coming in from it. For me, profit means something different.
Yeah.
Profit to me means how I'm leaving that person. It might be a very simple conversation where that person is just looking to vent or to get something out. I can give them a free piece of advice and it changes them. Because here's the thing. I had someone challenge me earlier this week. They had watched one of my Facebook Lives. They showed some interest in learning what I do on LinkedIn. And after doing an initial call, they watched some of my interviews. It was a challenging moment for me. It, like, hit me straight on, but it got me thinking. And this person said to me, as a real leader, you know, people do things for free out of the kindness of their own hearts. And if you were really as generous and as kind as you say you are, you wouldn't give me your sales pitch. Now, the old me, that would have been a really tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, for sure.
But it got me thinking about people's individual values or worths. Now, I don't, and this is something that you and I talked about before, we don't force anyone to do anything.
No, absolutely.
People want to know what we do. We express to them what LinkedIn lead generation is. We explain to them what workplace wellness is. And it's that person's option to invest or to not invest. And again,
or maybe timing, a factor. Like, lots of times I've had people I've worked with for 3 years before they came into my program, right? But I didn't shun them because they didn't come in the first time. I kept building that relationship, and I said, if it's there for you, if you're ready at some point, I'm here for you, right?
And people end up taking things way too personally. And again, so let's think about this. And I want you to be transparent.
Yeah.
So in you building workplace wellness, if you had to estimate in time and in monetary value, what range of money have you personally invested into your business to provide it as a resource for others? Because there's a quote that Wallace D. Waddell says from The Science of Getting Rich. He says the value of the service that you provide should be 10 times more than the actual value of what you charge. Meaning, what people are paying us to learn LinkedIn, to learn workplace wellness, there is no comparison from what they can get from it in monetary value. Because what people don't realize is that we spend hours a day, hours every day, you know, spending money on lawyers to license and trademark and constantly
website designers, graphic designers, copywriters,
website, hiring coaches to learn other things. So just give the audience an idea, because listen, we're into the, like, people think that we just make this stuff up and we charge whatever we want. They think we reinvest back into ourselves and our business.
Absolutely. And, you know, there's a really good discussion point here, because I've been at this 5 years now, you know, and we're making a profit every other year. It's growing. However, I take almost half of what I make and reinvest it, because I've developed new programs, and all that gets fed back into supporting our ambassadors, right? So, you know, it just really, you know, to answer your question, oh my gracious, I mean, tens and tens of thousands of dollars. But I get to pass that back to those who come into my program.
Yes.
Because I learn from everything I've developed. And we've got a suite of campaigns and luncheoners now that have been professionally developed out of my pocket for our group. And so, and in our level 2, they've developed campaigns that in part are branded by my designer that I invest in, because I know it's going to support my group and my ambassadors. And every year they get new tools. As a graduate from 2 years ago, they get new programs sent to them every year. That, I mean, there's no other program out in the universe that does that, right? But it's my passion to give to my trainees and to make our program, and we've already been called the gold standard. And it's because I work bloody hard to make it the gold standard.
Yeah, no,
I do.
I mean,
in terms of hours, I mean, I've been at this, I work sometimes too much if my husband were listening. I mean, I spend sometimes 7 days a week. Now I do take my walks. I have my exercise set up in my office here, and I, you know, I take downtime with my family. My daughter's grown and she's on her own. But, you know, I spend an inordinate amount of hours because I want to make this the very best program, not for Lisa Kelly, but I want to make the best program for my graduates.
Oh, I love it, because that's the thing. People think that, you know, so 2 of my clients are on here, Dave and Steve. So Dave is doing one of my virtual coaching programs. So Dave, if you can comment below when you can, just write your number 1 takeaway from what you've been learning from the virtual side. And Steve was one of my one-on-one clients who, him and his wife, Laurie, got tremendous results. But Steve did ask, how did I respond to that person that challenged me?
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, there's something that I learned with someone that I coached with, Andy Murphy. He's a mindset coach. And he says, sometimes what you need to do is you need to do a clearing. So if someone like challenges you, initially your emotions will initially kick in, and you want to be like, F you, you don't know what you're talking about, like blah, blah, blah. Like, so that's what happens. So he says, do the emotional dump, like type it out, get it out, erase it.
Right.
Take a moment and think about how the first class version of you would respond.
I love that.
Always rise above. So what I said back to this person was, I appreciate your feedback. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and continued success.
Yeah, and you know what? And I love that. And I see that you do that a lot. And I'm going to start doing that as well. As, you know, bless you, take care. I wish you well and much success in whatever path life may take you, right? Because, you know, workplace wellness is not for everyone. I mean, I think it's for a lot of people, but it's not for everyone. Isogenics may not be for everyone.
Right.
You know, and so we want to, you know, we want to create a positive, healthy environment and universe. So we just wish them well, and God bless them, right?
Bless and release. That's all we can do. So, so which social media I mean, I know you went into it a little bit. So what is your favorite social media platform to use? Not only for business growth, but for audience attention, engagement, but also obviously starting conversations, getting leads, growing your business of affiliates, but also people into your programs, and why?
Yeah, you know, it's hard to say. In terms of, you know, I can honestly say it's a split in different respects between LinkedIn and Facebook. Certainly, I'm moving more and more of my time to LinkedIn, and I have groups in LinkedIn and Facebook. So I spend a lot of time in my 2 groups posting and creating dialogues. And so in terms of engagement, like I have a workplace wellness professionals group that anyone interested in workplace wellness, you don't have to, you know, be a professional in workplace wellness to join it. Workplace Wellness Professionals Facebook group, and I have a Workplace Wellness Ambassadors group in LinkedIn. And I work really hard at keeping, things fresh and current and keeping things engaging. And we have a lot of our graduates in that program, those groups as well that add. So in terms of LinkedIn, I think I get the best response because LinkedIn is a business platform, right? So, and of course, I'm working with businesses and I work with HR and health coaches. I mean, to appeal to the health coaches, I would say more Facebook because they haven't made that migration yet over into LinkedIn, and I'm really coaching them around that. But in terms of yeah, like, if you really want to make inroads in LinkedIn workplace wellness, you want to be in the LinkedIn space. You definitely want to be spending, and probably anywhere from a half hour a day to more if you can commit it, or a little extra on the weekends, right? To posting, to writing, or posting your articles on LinkedIn Publisher, to doing LinkedIn native videos, which I'm going to start doing more of in the next few weeks, right? Because LinkedIn, like Facebook now, are pushing out the video feeds more than they are, just the static posts, right? And then getting in there with your contacts, and if you're not sure how to source contacts and build that contact relationship, there's your man there. And as I said, he built me from 3,000 to 14,000, and all over the globe, I have quite a wide audience now, right?
So let's talk about this. I want you to, you come in contact with a lot of network marketers, either on LinkedIn or on Facebook, because, we have some mutual connections and friends that are network marketers. So the one thing that I found with network marketers is that sometimes they don't treat themselves as business owners. They treat themselves as just an associate of the company, that they're selling shakes or whatever program they're selling. Tell them, the audience, the network marketer, why it's also important to recognize yourself as not only as a business professional, but as someone that absolutely has the qualifications to get on a platform like LinkedIn and have business conversations about an opportunity like just that.
Right. So, first and foremost, and I think we've sort of touched on this, it really comes down to your own personal convictions and your belief in yourself, right? And I work with our graduates a lot around this because some people are just getting started. And I say to them, you have to take faith in the fact, right? I have not led you astray, that you have what it takes to go out now. And a lot of times we don't know what we know, right? Until we start doing a presentation and we're like, oh, geez, I actually do more than know. I'm actually pretty good at this, right?
Right.
But we won't know. And so going out and testing things like going out into the community, going to Chambers of Commerce, Rotary, going to a Toastmasters, and start, talking about what's in your wheelhouse about isogenics or workplace wellness or whatever, and getting that confidence. It's no different than Facebook Live. Like when I first started doing Facebook Live, I felt I had to have everything scripted, right? Now I still have some little talking points in front of me even today, but I would have a prompter and have everything scripted. And then I came across the scripted, and I thought, Lisa, you know this stuff. You know this cold. Just speak from your heart. And so that's what I say is when you're doing a post, when you're doing an article, get to know first your target market. Ask them questions. Like I've been doing that in my Facebook messaging and Messenger recently, and LinkedIn. I'm asking my group members, I'm saying, thanks for being a member of our group. Can you share with me what are some topics that are important to you that I can then involve in my posts, my articles, and my Facebook Lives, right? So again, go back to what's important to your audience, right? And then when you know what's important to your audience, that's half the battle. The other half then is meeting that need and speaking to their needs, right? And then that's what's going to give you that traction. That's what's going to give you that confidence, that authoritarian self-confidence to be an authority figure and go in there and, and shine your light, right? Just shine your light. And people will respond to that.
Now, before we wrap up, I always like people ending like this. If you had to, and I know sometimes this is a hard question for people to ask or to answer. If you had to single out the number one reason why anyone, doesn't have to be a network marketer, doesn't have to be in corporate wellness, a business-minded person, what is the number one reason why, if they're not already doing it, why they should be using LinkedIn to grow their business, their brand, their connections, and their awareness?
One reason, I would just say it's because it's probably one of the most easiest, most effective, most targeted way to reach your market, bar none, right? I mean, you can take money and throw it in an ad, in a magazine, even in a trade journal that you're involved in, but you're not for, and it's free. It's free, you know, really. I mean, right? I have paid, other than an odd Facebook ad campaign, I've paid for no other, you know, formal advertising.
Neither have I.
And all organically, you know, and for now we have the means to do that. Things may change in a year or two. I don't know. Facebook's already making changes in that regard, right? But right. LinkedIn has. So go in and, you know, like with Facebook, I get in Facebook jail if I contact more than 20 people in a 5-minute period.
Yep.
LinkedIn, I can do that. So I think maybe that I just answered my question. Your question there is that, you know, there's no restraints around how much activity you can do on LinkedIn, or how, you know, how frequent you can reach out to people in your group, right?
Absolutely.
And so, you know, take advantage of, have those conversations, right? You know, it might take 4 or 5 calls before you, or conversations in a LinkedIn discussion before you even get to what you do, right? But ask them things like, how is your day going? How are things in your work? You know, are you happy in your job?
Create connection.
Yeah, and get to connect with them first as a person,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's great. So, you know, first, I just wanted to thank you for joining me today. I know we actually talked about doing this before you left for Ireland, like months ago, and I'm glad that we got it scheduled.
Absolutely.
So thank you for joining me. And again, guys, I left Lisa's affiliate links, how to connect with her in her groups. Lisa, just to put it out there, instead of if they don't want to read the description, how can people reach you? How can they learn more about your programs, and how do they connect?
Absolutely. Well, thanks for this opportunity again to be here and to share with your group. So our website is kellywc.com, or you can reach me by info@kellywc.com. I have two Facebook groups, Workplace Wellness Professionals and Corporate Health and Wellness. I have a LinkedIn group, Workplace Wellness Ambassadors. We have an information webinar running throughout September. If you want to learn more about, you know, how to launch in, or what workplace wellness is all about, or how to launch into workplace wellness, we also share a little bit on the end about our programs. Then, you know, sign up for one of our webinars. We have a focus group right now. If you want to join our focus group and contribute to our workplace wellness discussions there. And we also have our first level 1 program starting up in October. We run it once a year. So if you're interested in any of that, you know, drop into our webinar. And then when you're in our webinar, you get access to a free consult with me. And then you could chat some more one-on-one with me about, you know, our programs or your interest, or, you know, if corporate wellness is for you, right?
Awesome.
And yeah, we have other programs too, but that's really, you know, the focus. Our level 1 workplace wellness program is coming up in October. So that's really where I'm putting my focus on right now.
Awesome. Well, again, Lisa, thank you so much for your time, for your expertise, for your feedback, and obviously for your dedication and inspiration for your craft and for what you do. So thank you for taking the time. Thank you for everyone that jumped on here live and on the replay. And don't hesitate to reach out to Lisa. She's amazing. There's a reason for why everyone does connect. Nothing happens by accident. Everything does happen on purpose. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your days. Lisa, thank you again, and we'll see everybody soon. Bye, everybody.
Take care.